Where do we go?
We're going to go down and across.
Down where?
Out to the left. See where Deb's walking? And then basically where she gets there, we're hanging a hard right. Joe McCloskey.
Him and his ex are so cute.
Yeah, but
You're
he
right.
didn't bring his ex.
No, but yeah, last night.
Oh, we have a live mic.
I already was doing this.
Yes. You got it.
But it wasn't nervousness. It just is more natural.
Right. But you, remember, you're here for style, not substance.
Yeah. Always. I'm always here for style, not substance. I mean, who says style can't be substance?
Exactly.
Oh.
Nicely played. All right, I think we're getting rolling here. So is now a good time or a bad time for me to go grab a beer?
Bad.
Bad?
Relax. You'll be surprised later.
I need a glass of Malbec.
You'll have plenty.
Okay. That sounded like a starting bell.
Or something falling over. You're gonna cry when you see Angela? Which I'm soon. Yes.
I'm very excited.
Your eyes look really blue with the shirt.
I'm super excited.
Does my hair look? Yeah, do I look fat? No, you're fine. It's raining.
Is it?
I just felt the drop.
Great. Oh well.
It's under.
We'll do what we're doing. It's gonna be fine.
Don't worry.
I'm good.
She looks so pretty. I'm sorry.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to this beautiful and joyous occasion. My name is Sue, and I take the delight in both knowing my very dear friend Angela for over 10 years. Her vitality and passion for life is as present today as it was the first time she made me laugh out loud at Jazz in the Park. More recently, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Steve, along with his cunning sense of humour and his wonderful mix of hubris and humility. I'm honoured today to act as their officials. Angela and Steve are so very grateful to share this joyful occasion with all of you. You are all their very dear and treasured friends in what is a very special place for them here at the Denver Country Classes. They want to thank you all for being here, both physically and virtually. They know you're out there, you're not here exactly. And they're thrilled to have you as part of the ceremony. In particular, they would like to acknowledge Chris Shearer, Steve's best man, who couldn't be here today in person, but will join us later for a virtual toast. So let the ceremony begin.
Ready, Dad? Can you unbreak her?
Yeah, after Karen. Love you. Slow down. We have all day. No, no, we'll get there a little bit better. What brings you here?
Nothing special.
Okay. Me either. Oh my God. I'm crying already.
I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart.
Can I kiss you yet?
So we're gathered today in these beautiful botanic gardens because of the significance that this setting holds for both Angela and Steve. Throughout their relationship, this garden has served as a place of refuge, of peace, and of reflection. They've had many important conversations here, some joyous and some tough, but always compassionate and loving. None more, and always in a way that it's advanced their relationship. None more, in fact, than when Steve got down on one knee and proposed to Angela in the Japanese garden. I invite you to visit the Japanese garden sometime, perhaps if you get a chance after the ceremony. Take a time to notice the water and the land and the trees and the flowers, the rocks and the sand, the gates at the paths, the lanterns and the benches. It's quite beautiful. You will see why these two kept returning there. But as Rudyard Kipling wrote, gardens are not made by singing, "Oh, how beautiful," and sitting in the shade. What you see in the Japanese garden wasn't always there, but rather cultivated with great care over time. Likewise, all the elements of the garden were not placed there randomly, but rather in accordance with century-old Japanese traditions of Chaizen Kayushiki. Try saying that 3 times quickly. This gardening practice involves the careful creation of an environment that embraces balance in order to achieve harmony. A rather beautiful metaphor for a successful marriage, don't you think? This garden has a machiai, a waiting bench, where one pauses for self-reflection prior to entering the tea house. Angela and Steve appreciate that their experience has provided the introspection to understand themselves with more clarity than perhaps when they were younger. This in turn has provided them with the ability to understand each other better, to acknowledge each other's strengths as they grow together. But it also necessitates tolerance, compassion, and the more difficult task of avoiding judgment and accepting each other's quirks. You have
I haven't
quirks.
done, so I'm
Yeah,
good.
I just been there before you even went there. Okay.
Am I in trouble?
Angela and Steve, let that match-eye remind you to water your marriage with presence and time for reflection. There's a large lantern at the edge of the pond in the Japanese garden. It's called the Yukimi Doro, or the snow viewing lantern. Japanese boatmen trusted and relied on these tiny lighthouses to navigate around the edge of lakes. So too, we need to trust in each other. Trust built out of mutual respect and effective communication. The willingness not only to talk, not only to listen, but to truly hear each other. While you guys share so many beautiful common values, such as the importance of family, friendship, hard work, gratitude, and civic engagement, you also challenge each other, not as criticism, but rather as a way to use your differences to build each other up and to make each other stronger. This takes courage and faith. Let the lantern be a reminder to cultivate those seeds of faith and trust. The name of the Japanese garden is Shofu-en, which means Garden of the Pine Winds. Most of the trees that you see in the garden are ponderosa pines, but what you probably don't know is they're actually not from Denver. Over 100 were brought here several years ago from Estes Park. These trees were struggling because of the harsh, windy conditions in the park, and the park's designers carefully dug them up, hauled them 100 miles on flatbed trucks, and replanted them here, where they've now flourished. Their resilience has given them the strength to survive in this new landscape. When you look at the ponderosa pine, remember to nurture the strength of vulnerability and resilience in each other. Do you like my puns?
Nicely done.
The Japanese tea garden has endured a much longer journey than the pine trees. Originally built in Japan by skilled artisans, it was then taken apart and transported across the Pacific Ocean and reconstructed here. I guess they could have just built it here to begin with, but it would have lacked the authenticity that the craftsmen in Japan imbued upon it. Let the tea house remind you to fertilise your marriage with authenticity and a willingness to see the truth in yourselves and in each other. Last one. The Japanese garden has a sense of humour too. Let's face it, bonsai trees are a pun waiting to happen. How much do you know about bonsai trees? Very little. Bonsai lovers are tolerant people. They hate bigotry. A guy tried to sign me up for a multi-level marketing plan to sell mini trees. Thankfully, I realised it was a bonsai scheme. Remember to propagate laughter and joy. So in the words of children, and with you all, they're committed to nurturing the growth of this union and being present to its beauty.
You first. Did you bring my vows?
We've already seen both better and worse